Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is time to do a brake bleed on my 2021 Porsche Macan GTS. I'm inside the car right now because we need to turn off the air suspension because we'll be jacking up the car. So basically what we need to do is first I'm gonna turn on the emergency brake, and then we're gonna push this button right here, and we're going to hold it for 10 seconds, and that's basically going to notify us on the right cluster that the air suspension is off. So I'm just basically holding this button right down and waiting for the notification. And there it is. So we'll be able to move forward, and we won't do any damage by jacking up the car. Okay, so I'm gonna go over some of the tools that we need to do this. It's amazing how many tools you really need to do anything on the car if you want to do it the right way. But anyway, we have our motive power bleeder. We're gonna use a turkey baster, believe it or not, to get some of the fluid out of the brake reservoir. I just got wheel chocks in the back because we're gonna be jacking up the car. We're gonna be using this .4 brake fluid. I also have an 11mm wrench. I have also just an empty water bottle to put some of the brake fluid in. We're gonna need a torque wrench when we put the tires back on to re-torque. We got some rags, obviously a jack to jack up the car, and I got these from inside the Porsche. This is the wheel lock, and also this kind of helps us get the tires back on. Rags, I said. I'm gonna get fancy and use this to get the lug nuts off. That's part of like my little emergency kit. So we'll use that to make it a little easier. All right, let's move on. Okay, just gonna pop the hood. Okay, we popped the hood to the car, and we're gonna be looking at the master cylinder reservoir, which is right here. And this is where we're gonna start. Okay, so from all the videos I watched, they just kind of stress how important it is and how corrosive the brake fluid is, so you want to just cover up the areas surrounding the cap. It's like we're doing surgery here. Okay, so we're gonna go in and we're gonna take the cap off. Okay, so we got our cap. And it looks like there's a little filter in here. I'm gonna have to get this out. Notice I'm wearing gloves. Yeah, there's like a little yellow filter in here. I'm just trying to get it out. It's a little slippery. But let me see how I can get that out. I might need to just get a little pick and get this out. I know you guys can't see it, but... Okay, folks, so I did get that filter out. This is what it looks like. It was actually, oh, look at that. It was actually very hard to get out, I'm not gonna lie. So eventually what I did was I just grabbed the corner of it, got hold of it, and with some strength pulled it up. Actually, it was kind of harder than I thought, but I did see some other videos, them complaining as well about getting this out. So we're just gonna put this to the side, and we'll clean that off later. Okay, so now I'm just gonna get some of the fluid out using the turkey baster here. Okay, just being careful not to get it on the car, and we'll just get out a decent amount. Fluid looks pretty good, but I'm just going to do that a little bit longer, and we'll move on to the next step. Okay, folks, so I took out about that much with the turkey baster. I think that's plenty. And now we could go and fill up the brake motive power bleeder with the new fluid. Okay. So we're just filling this up. Okay, and I'm just gonna put the other bottle in there and we can move on. Okay folks, so I left a little of the second bottle in the actual container, so if we need to top off the fluid reservoir, we can do that. But we could also dump it out from here. But now we're just sealing up the top of the bleeder, make sure it's nice and tight, and we're ready to move on. Okay folks, so basically what I did was I just attached this other end right here to the master cylinder. Sorry I didn't show you me screwing it on, but it just screws on, obviously, clockwise. Okay folks, so we're gonna jack up the car. So on the driver's side, I just put my wheel chocks here just to be safe. And basically we are gonna start with the furthest tire away, which is the back passenger side. Okay, so we're gonna jack this up. Okay, so we got this little doohickey here, which is basically goes on the jack and it slips up into the car. So we're just gonna do that. Okay, so we just jacked it up just enough to get the tire off the floor. Okay, now we're gonna remove the first lug nut. This is one with the key. Okay, that's one. We used that to get it off. And the rest we could just use this. Okay, I'm going to do the rest of those. Okay, folks, and we're going to put this in one of the slots so the tire doesn't come crashing off. And it makes it much easier to get back on. And this did come with the car. Okay, there we go. Nice and easy. Also good. Now you can see we have perfect access to the brake calipers. Okay folks, now we're gonna pump up our power bleeder. They say to go to anywhere from 20 to 25 PSI. So we're just gonna keep an eye on that. You're gonna notice some of the brake fluid is moving throughout the little pipes or tubes. And you can see the PSI is going up. So we're just gonna keep on doing that until we get to, I'll go right in between 20 and 25. Okay folks, so you can see we are right under the 25 mark. And we'll check that as we do it, as we're doing the job, just to make sure that we're not losing any pressure, I guess, because that could indicate a leak. Okay, let's move on. Okay, so we're at the back caliper, and looks like this is exactly where we need to bleed it from. This looks like the brake sensor, so it gets tucked under the cap here. So we just gotta pull this cap off, and that's what we need to open up with the 11mm wrench. Okay folks, so I'm doing this with one hand now. This power bleeder comes with a little magnetic discharge. So I like to feed my wrench through it before I put it on, making sure it's in the right position. And we're gonna put this tube right onto the nipple, making sure it's nice and secure. Okay, so that's on pretty good. And I'm gonna slide my wrench down. And that fits nice onto the nut. And we're gonna open her up. Okay folks, I really need an assistant to help me film, but let's see what we can do on our own here. All right. So we got a nice arch in the tube. And I am going to make sure this is secure and open it up. Oh, there we go, nice. Ooh, look at that brake fluid coming out. Nice. Okay, so it's great that there's no air bubbles in there. And you can see that it's arching right into this catch can. And the fluid actually looks pretty good. You know, they say you should do this every 2 years. So this is year 2. And I'm just gonna let that drain for a little while. Hopefully the yellow maybe gets a little less yellow as it comes through the pipe, so we know that the new fluid is coming through. Exciting stuff. So far, so good. Okay folks, so kind of funny, I made a rookie mistake, but this wrench I was using, you know, it's one of the ratchet wrenches, so it only goes, you know, I have it on the off thing. So, I mean, I'm able to tighten that nut with my hand, but when you're done, you want to re-tighten the nut. I just happen to have another 11 millimeter, so when you're done, you would want to tighten that nut up. Okay, so luckily I had this other wrench, but like I said, I was able to do it with my hand, but just keep that in mind. Okay folks, so this looks very clear to me. There's no bubbles, no nothing. Never really know quite how much to drain out, but you know, looking at that, I really think that's enough. No bubbles, it's clear. I think we're good to shut that and move on to the next tire. Okay folks, so I just put that little cap back on, made sure the nut was nice and tight, and now I'm just gonna put the tire back on and we're gonna move on. Okay folks, so we got the tire back on, nice and easy, and we're gonna just lower the jack, and I'll torque those lug nuts a little later on. Okay, so we got that one done. So the order in which you do it in is the back right. Then we're gonna move on to the back left. And then we do the front right, and then the driver's side. Alrighty, that's the order. And we're just gonna keep going. Okay folks, so from the first tire, we're gonna empty this old brake fluid into an old water bottle. So we have a full one for the next tire. Okay, moving on. Okay folks, moving along. So we got the second tire off. Notice that I put the tire under here for safety. Jack's pretty good. And we're gonna move on and do exactly the same thing. Okay folks, you can see we got the second tire going. Same process. Let this fill up to about, I guess, halfway again. But again, no air bubbles. Looks pretty clear to me. It's always good. All right, moving along. Okay, folks, so we're at the front passenger side, and you'll notice that on this caliper there's two spots to bleed. So you're supposed to do the outside first and then the inside, okay? So we're gonna do that now. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are done. We did the last tire, and we filled up our bottle. The brake fluid looked clear, so the last step now is to unfasten this motive power bleeder. We're gonna release it from here so that we release all the pressure and don't shoot brake fluid all over. So we're gonna undo this. It's kind of hard with one hand, but I'm just gonna loosen that up. Okay, so we loosened that up. All the pressure was released. A lot of the brake fluid shot back into here. We have a little bit left, which is always good, which means we bought enough. And now we're gonna undo this right here and get that filter back in and top it off. Okay, so we're gonna fill our brake reservoir with the leftover. It's kind of hard to see here when it's full or not, but I know it was pretty much up to the top. Let's see what we got here. I think it's pretty full, ladies and gentlemen. Trying to see. Looks pretty good. I'm gonna have to get a closer look at that reservoir to see where the markings are. Well, folks, I found where you could actually see the brake reservoir. It's very hard to see on camera here, but there is a fill line, and I am pretty much right at the max fill. Okay, folks, so I think we're done working under the hood over here. I cleaned up the area. Looks nice and neat. And make sure there's no parts left over in here. There's actually a cap over here, which I took out. So we are going to close the hood and move on to some final steps. Okay, so we got that. We're gonna go in the car, and we are gonna turn back on the level suspension, the air suspension. Okay, so we're back in the car now. I started the engine just to make sure I didn't get any crazy notifications. And basically what we need to do is turn the air suspension back on. So same process. I'm going to hold that button for 10 seconds, and it should notify me that it is back on. So let's wait for that to pop up. And there it is. It says level control switched on, which means the air suspension is back on. So that's great. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so the last part is just retorquing the wheels. Porsche calls for 118 foot-pounds of torque. So basically we're gonna just retorque all the wheels. So you just put it in and you push down until you hear a click. There we go. So that's basically it. I'm gonna go around and do that 5, 10, 15, 20 times. So I think that's gonna be take me a little bit, so I'll get back. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so I torqued all those tires, and I think we have another successfully completed project. I think it went pretty well. I'm not a mechanic, I'm not an expert, but I appreciate you guys watching. Hopefully it helps some of you, and Thank you very much, and hopefully if you liked the video, you give it a thumbs up. All right? You guys all have a great day. Drive safe.